the three constituents of nature, Prakriti, are called the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. In the earlier part of this chapter, we have seen their characteristics. Sattva represents peace, calmness, balance and all good virtues, such as truthfulness, straightforwardness, purity, etc. That is Sattva, Sattva Guna. Guna is quality or property or constituent. Then second Guna is Rajas. Rajas means, Rajas is characterized by energy, activity, movement, noise, desire and such virtues, such qualities. And the third guna, Tamo Guna, Tamas or Tamo Guna, is characterized by sloth, inactivity, indolence, tendency to do violence and all undesirable qualities. These three qualities are always together, occurring in a mixture in all beings. Whether it is a human being, we all have Sattva, Rajas, Tamas in us, in varying proportions. If you take any human being, that human being has all the three tendencies. You can call them tendencies, constituents, etc., qualities, etc. Everybody has some Sattva. And everybody also has some Rajas. Everybody has some desire, some energy, some creativity, some activity, some movement, a desire for name, etc., desire for wealth. These qualities are there. Everybody has an element of tamas also. Sometimes we don't feel good, we feel angry, anger, we feel jealous, and there is also a tendency, maybe hidden in many people, not expressed, to do violence and inactivity and slothfulness. All the three qualities are there, but in different proportions. A person is characterized by the dominant quality of these three. If Sattva is dominant, we call him a Sattvic person. Once in a while he may become a little irritated, but that can be overlooked. But generally he has a good disposition, calmness and peace and love and compassion. All those good qualities he has most of the time. So he is a Sattvic person. And the Rajasic person are those who are workaholic, unstoppable. They have to be doing something always, compulsive activity. And they have all kinds of desires. Some good, some questionable. And they are always doing something. They cannot relax and sit down and meditate or contemplate. It's not possible for them. The mind is always active. Has to be doing something. Such people are called Rajasic people. Or they call type A personalities or something like that. You can't stop them. They have to be on top of things. They have to be doing something. Then the predominantly tamasic people, in whom we see a tendency to do great violence and all evil virtues, not adhering to the truth, not having compassion, cruelty and violence. All these characteristics can be seen in some people. They are the dominant characteristics. In some people they call them tamasic people. But everybody has all these three. Not only human beings, all beings in nature have all the three qualities. If you take any plant or tree, if you take an animal, if you take an animal like tiger, it's rajasic and can be tamasic too. Like that. If you take an elephant, it tends to be, elephant or a cow tends to be a little bit sattvic. But they cannot, in their personality, they cannot express these qualities as we are able to express in our personalities. Limited. They live mostly by instinct. Now, in the Gita, in the second chapter, which sloka, 45, I think it is. Yes, verse 45, in second chapter, Sri Krishna already mentioned all of these things in a capsule form. 245. Let us chant the sloka together. Everybody chant. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho, Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho, Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. In this verse, Sri Krishna says, all things in nature have the three gunas, Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Veda means the ancient scriptures which deal with all aspects of human life and endeavor. Everything is included. It talks about nature, it talks about chemistry, it talks about spiritual matters. Everything is included in the Vedas. That means whatever is there in the whole of creation, Traigunya Vishaya, they have the three gunas in them, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas in them. But what we have to do, we can remain as we are, a combination of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, then life will continue, status quo. But if you want to achieve spiritual illumination, then we have to leave behind Tamas and Rajas and develop Sattva in our qualities, and eventually Sattva also has to be left behind. Because according to all our scriptures and sages and their experience, essentially there is the divinity present within all. In all beings without exception, whether the people agree with this or not, believe in it or not, experience it or not, presence of divine is a given constant. That is one theme upon which whole Vedantic thinking is built. The same divine is present in all the beings to the same extent. That is the most basic position Vedanta takes. Everything else is built upon that one, that foundation of same divinity being all. Swami Vivekananda expressed it simply in his Raja Yoga commentary. Each soul is potentially divine. Potentially the divinity is present within us all. It's not absent. Because it is not expressed, it is not manifest, most of us are not able to experience it. It takes some work. What is masking, what is preventing us from experiencing our divinity if it is present within us? Why can't I feel the presence of God in me now? If He is there, I should be able to feel Him. It is the three gunas that act as a shield. The three gunas are in the mind. If the mind is purely sattvic, then that person is closest to the experience of the divine. If the mind is mostly rajasic, tamasic, then that acts as a shield, as a screen, as a mask. So to the extent we purify our mind, purification means making it free from the three gunas. To that extent we feel the presence of the divine within us. So in order to, if you want to achieve spiritual illumination, the instruction is in the first word of this verse, Traigunya, the second word, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna, second part of this verse. You become free from the three gunas. Nistraigunya means be free from the three gunas. As long as we are tainted with any of the three gunas in any proportion, so long there is a little bit opacity, there is no transparency in our mind. These qualities pollute our mind, make it translucent or opaque. God is there, but I am not able to feel the presence of God. Why? Because my mind comes as a big shield, obstruction. My mind is not transparent, it is not pure, it has sattva, rajas and tamas. To the extent I purify the mind, make it free from the three gunas, to that extent one can feel the presence of the divine, and in the ultimate case one can experience one's oneness with the divine. One is that essentially one, we are that one. Then the outer layers of our personality, the body, mind, etc., they melt away. So that is the reason why Sri Krishna early in the Gita, he gave this instruction, Nistrai Gunyo Bhava, you become free from the three gunas, you transcend the three gunas and make your mind free from the three gunas, including sattva. Sattva also is a quality. If you want to experience the pristine divinity within us, untainted by the three qualities, then we have to eventually transcend the three qualities altogether. Nistrai Gunya Bhava means that one. But it has to be done in stages. First we have to examine our minds and all the tamasic tendencies we have to ruthlessly eliminate. Any tendency towards cruelty, towards cheating, towards stealing, towards harming other people, violence, that has to be absolutely stopped. As long as our mind is full of those impurities, we cannot hope to experience God's presence within us. We cannot experience our divine nature, essentially divine nature. Then what about Rajas? Rajas stands in between. Rajas can be either good or very bad. If Rajas is combined with Tamas, it can be very destructive. Rajas means energy, activity, dynamism, movement, resources, desire. If all these things are combined with Tamas, then it is destructive. Sri Krishna calls them self-destructive. Dvaram Nashanam Atmanaha. That combination of Rajas and Tamas is deadly. The person goes down and down until one reaches rock bottom. We don't want that. So we want to use the Rajas. Rajas is activity, movement, energy, dynamism. We want to use it for good purpose. If we have resources, we can use it for good purpose or bad purpose. It's like money. If you have a lot of money, then it's not necessarily bad. Swamiji said money is not bad in good hands. It can be used for constructive purposes to help a lot of other people. If the mind is sattvic, compassion, helpfulness, if we have with money, then we can use the money for good purpose to help a lot of people. It's not a bad thing at all. It's a resource. Depends upon how we make money and what we do with it, how we spend the money. If money means represents rajas, resources, energy, combined with sattva, then it can be very constructive. Lot of good deed can be done. So rajas stands in between. And sattva is all good virtues. Truthfulness, compassion, empathy, purity of body, mind and speech. All of these are sattvic qualities. We have to cultivate them. And eventually, we have to transcend the three gunas, and then we can experience our divine nature or experience our oneness with the divinity present within us. Now we have the feeling of separation. I am separate, God is separate. I stand apart from God. I worship God as my beloved, as my ideal. In the highest level of human development, evolution, that oneness will gradually, the duality will gradually dissolve and oneness is established. That status is called Soham. I am He, declares the Rishi, the sage, for the experience this oneness with the divine. We cannot say that now we are not ready, we are not at that stage. When I can say I am God, it makes no sense. It will be not beneficial. It will be harmful to say that one. Sri Ramakrishna cautions us, when our minds are not completely pure, we should not say I am He. We should worship Him as an ideal, something to be reached, something to be experienced. God is something to be known, to be experienced. It's an object, it's an ideal. But as we make progress, as one makes progress, we approach the divinity. It slowly melts away. One experiences oneness with the divine. That is the ultimate. That we can call by any name, liberation or salvation or whatever. That is the ultimate goal. To do that one, what we have to do, our present task is to examine our mind and try to remove all the impurities. What are the 6 impurities we are familiar with? Impurities of the mind. Lust, anger, greed, pride, jealousy. You can add a few other things. Fear, etc. These things have to be purified. The mind has to be purified. You have to work on these things. That is the instruction that Sri Krishna gave in the verse number 45 in 2nd chapter. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. That should be our ideal. All our spiritual practices are meant to purify the mind. Once the mind is purified, Chitta Shuddhi, mind is purified, then the greatest obstacle is removed and experience of oneness with the divine is imminent. That is the instruction. Now, Arjuna asks a very interesting question. We will go back to chapter 14. Verse 21. That is the last part of this chapter. We will try to complete it today. Arjuna asks a question in 14:21. How can we identify a person who has transcended the 3 gunas? Earlier, Sri Krishna told him to transcend the 3 gunas, Nistraigunya Bhava. Now Arjuna asks, how do we know whether someone has transcended the 3 gunas? Then we can look up to that person and emulate some of his and her qualities. So please help me with by what means or by what signs observable from outside. We should be able to see that in a personality. Then we can emulate that person. What are the signs? So let us stand 14:21. Arjuna Uvacha Kairlingai Strin Gunan Etan Atito Bhavati Prabho Kimachara Katham Chaitan Trin Gunan Ativartate. Arjuna Uvacha Kairlingai Strin Gunan Etan Atito Bhavati Prabho Kimachara Katham Chaitan Trin Gunan Ativartate. So Arjuna's question is, by what outward signs, visible signs, can a person who has transcended 3 gunas be identified? If we see so many people, how can we identify the people or persons who have transcended 3 gunas and are experiencing God's presence? If we can identify, then we can get help from that person. One reason why we have to know what are the means, what are the signs. The second reason why Arjuna asked that question is, what are the things that we have to do in order to become like that person, in order to transcend the three gunas? Same motivation for Arjuna's questions in the second chapter. In the second chapter, Arjuna asked the question, what are the signs of a Sthita Prajna? Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava. Samadhistha means one who has achieved samadhi. Sthita Prajna, person of steady awareness of the divine, constantly aware of the presence of God within oneself. We are not Sthita Prajnas because we are not constantly aware of the divine presence within us. We are aware of the world, what I am doing, what's happening to me, my body, my mind, my pain and my pleasure, my happiness, my unhappiness, other people, what's happening to them, what they are telling me, what I am doing. This is what we are aware of. It's all outside world. I am not aware of the presence of divine within me. I should become aware of the divine presence within me and then within everybody else. And as a next step, I should experience my oneness with the divine. This is what Sri Krishna said in the 6th chapter. What is the ideal that we have to keep in front of us to strive for? Why we should give up the three gunas? Why not we just stay as we are? We can stay as we are. There is nobody is twisting us to become spiritually illumined. But the urge comes within. The urge comes within to know our divine nature, to know the truth. It comes to everybody. It may not be at the same time, at different times. So in the 6th chapter, I'm going to move about a little bit here and there to connect these verses. We go to verse number 30 in chapter 6. What does Sri Krishna mean when he says, become free from the three gunas? Then what happens? Then a person sees the divine within oneself. Such a person sees same divine in all other beings also. In that sense, that person experiences oneness of all. Everybody is divine, everything is divine, only he exists. That experience should come. That's our ideal. So that's 6:30. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. I am purposefully repeating these slokas and these ideas because we have to imbibe these ideas and they should become deeply embedded in our consciousness. To the extent we put good thoughts into our mind, divine thoughts, spiritual thoughts, to that extent impurities will move away. Otherwise they will stay intact. If you have a glass, empty glass, and if you want to fill it with water, then you should not try to remove all the air from it and put water. You put water, air will instead go away. Our mind is like that. Impurities are there. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are there. Now we can't remove them. Then the vacuum is created in the mind. It cannot be. Mind has to have some thought. Instead of removing the bad thoughts from our mind, how can I remove bad thoughts? I don't want to think bad thoughts. I can say that thought will be there. More efficient way is to put good thoughts. Don't worry about the bad thoughts. Leave them alone. When the mind is full of good thoughts, repeatedly supplied good thoughts, the bad thoughts themselves will leave the room quietly. Like that. If the United States Army comes into this room, all of us will quietly move away. Like very powerful. Good thoughts are very powerful. They displace the bad thought. Leave the bad thought, don't try to deal with them directly. It won't work. Put good thoughts as often as possible, as much as possible. That is why these ideas which you have studied before have to be repeatedly brought back to our mind. Our mind registers all these good impressions are registered, and automatically the impurities in our mind will recede away without a trace. It will take some time. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. That is our effort. So now we come back to 21. What are the signs? Linga means sign. The word linga has several meanings. One meaning of linga is sign or visible quality. You can see a person is becoming very unhappy. You can see on his face or her face the unhappiness. That is linga. That is sign of unhappiness. Something is wrong. Person is crying. So crying is a sign of unhappiness that is afflicting that person. So what are the signs visible from the outside which help us to recognize a person who has become free from the sway of the three gunas? And at the same time, what are we supposed to do? What qualities, virtues are we supposed to develop in order to become like that person, experience the divine witness? That is the reason why this question is asked in 14:21. Kimacharaha. How does that person be? Achara means conduct. How does he conduct himself? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to conduct ourselves? While being alone in company or at home, at work, how are we supposed to conduct ourselves? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to behave? We have to know that ideal. Then we can strive to reach that one. Katham chaitan trin gunanati vartate. How does a person transcend the three gunas? Earlier he was told, second chapter, Krishna told him, become free from three gunas, Nistraya Gunya Bhava. No, it took 11 chapters for Arjuna to come back to that, because all other teachings were given in between. You told me earlier that I have to transcend the three gunas. Now tell me, what are the signs of a person who has transcended three gunas, and how does he behave? What is his her conduct? And how can I overcome the three gunas? Katham etan trin gunan ativartate. Ativartate means transcends. That is an important question. Now let us see what reply Sri Krishna gives. The rest of the chapter is Krishna's reply. Those are the important segments. So we are going to study that now. 22. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha. Mohameva cha Pandava. Mohameva cha Pandava. Nadveshti sampravrittani. Nadveshti sampravrittani. Nanivrittani kamshati. Nanivrittani kamshati. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha. Mohameva cha Pandava. Mohameva cha Pandava. Nadveshti sampravrittani. Nadveshti sampravrittani. Nanivrittani kamshati. Nanivrittani kamshati. Pandava means addressing Arjuna. A person who has transcended the sway of the three gunas, has become free from the sway of the three gunas, such a person remains unperturbed under all circumstances, regardless of what happens in life. So the three things that can happen to us is, sattvic things can happen, good things can happen to us, then we rejoice. Or at the other extreme, bad things can happen to us, then we become sad and we cry. Or in between, we can become angry, we can become very active, and something good can happen, some property may come, some title may come, some promotion may come, good things can happen. Whatever happens in one's life, this person remains unperturbed and absolutely calm. Nothing can change that person's equilibrium. So nothing can disturb that person's mind. That ability one will acquire with some practice. We distance ourselves from all the experiences and observe them. Take the position of a witness, observe them. Yes, it is happening. It's difficult, it takes time, but it can be done and has to be done. So he says prakasha. Prakasha means light. Light represents sattva, light of knowledge. Prakasha means light. Light means goodness, light of knowledge. Prakasha. Pravritti means activity. It represents rajas. Prakasha represents sattva. And pravritti, activity, represents rajas. Third thing is moha. Moha means delusion, misunderstanding, and things like that. They all represent tamas. Whether a person's mind experiences sattvic events or rajasic or tamasic events, that person remains unperturbed. If good things happen, he does not become attached to those things. Nadveshti sampravrittani. If those things happen, accrue to us, good or bad accrues to us, that person does not hate that thing. Oh, I hate this. Why this problem has come in my life? That kind of reaction is not there. Remaining calm, unperturbed. If something good happens, or something that is the happening is stopped, is lost, then also there is no disturbance. Nanivrittani kankshati. Nivrittani means if they go away, whatever is happening in my life, or this, I like it, I want it to continue. But some obstruction comes and things change. It's our daily experience. Things are never stable. If something good is happening and you want it to continue forever, it does not continue. After some time, some disturbance comes, it breaks and it stops. When such a loss happens, where something is gained or something is lost, pravrittani nivrittani nadveshti na kankshati. Does not desire, does not hate. That person has managed or succeeded in overcoming strong likes and dislikes. Dveshti means hatred, strong dislike. Something happens, a person comes to your room, at your workplace, you become so unhappy. Why this person has come? I don't like this person. The mind reacts that way towards some people. If another person comes, you like that person so much, you want that person to be with you always. We have strong likes and dislikes, not only regarding people, regarding situations, regarding our own experiences, regarding what other people do, regarding what things happen in our life. We have likes and dislikes. As long as we are under the sway of likes and dislikes, so our mind has no peace. If something I like happens, I am very happy, I am rejoicing. If something I don't like happens, then I am unhappy and I am sad or angry or bitter. So we make ourselves vulnerable to these variations of mind as long as we continue our strong likes and dislikes. We have to learn to remain neutral. Watch everything. Life is always a mixture of good and bad. You take anybody's life, not only your and my life. Anybody who has lived in this world from beginning of creation or may come into existence, everybody's life is a mixture of good and bad. Nobody has all good all the time. Such a person has not existed. Even the richest people, wisest people, strongest people have had adversities in their life. Nobody has been free from trouble altogether in this life, in this world. At the same time, nobody is always having only problem. There is some silver lining in every situation. There is some silver lining. There is some kind of positive pop. If you still look for it, there is a positive element somewhere hidden in that one. So it's always a mixture. So we should remain. We can't change that one. We can manipulate a little bit of leeway is there. We can maneuver a little bit, make this go there, do this like this, and change it. But it doesn't work. We have to learn to remain unperturbed. You can't stop the world. You can't stop good and bad in the world. It's going to go on like that. It has gone on like that from the beginning of creation. Good and bad have coexisted. We cannot do anything to change that mixture. We can't make everything good, make everything bad go away. It's not going to happen. Therefore, we have to develop immunity. We have to develop a sense of balance and equanimity. That message of equanimity, Sri Krishna has given many times in the Gita. Many times in the Gita, so far we have seen this message of equanimity and same-sightedness. Sri Krishna emphasizes them. Good or bad happens, gain or loss, pain or pleasure, honor or blame. If we allow all these things to affect us, very small thing, if we allow it to affect us, then there is no peace. I'm making myself vulnerable. I should remain stable. Let things happen, let things come, let things go, good things come, bad things come, good things go, bad things go. I am only abiding in myself. I abide in myself, in the divine within me. The world can dance up and down, and what we need to keep is a combination of a little bit of rajas and sattva. We need resources, we need energy, we need movement, we need activity, we need to work. All of that is rajas, but combined with sattva, it is constructive. That's okay. Otherwise, if you completely become free, then you go into samadhi. When you go into samadhi, you don't have any triguna. All your sattva is also left behind. You experience God's presence, and you are lost in it. You are absorbed in it. Then you can't go to work. You can't maintain a family. So as long as you are leading a worldly life, you keep rajas, but always combined with sattva, and tamas has to be given up. But as you make advance in spiritual progress, like all those upadhis will drop away one by one. As one makes spiritual progress, those upadhis, family, job, position, power, maintenance, this and that responsibilities will drop away, and then one. That is why in our earlier times, ancient times, our rishis recommended that we purposefully do it. Purposefully, gradually, in stages, withdraw from worldly activities and devote more and more time, more and more exclusively, only speak spiritual illumination. 4 stages of life they mentioned, 4 ashramas. Ashrama means stages of life. Brahmacharya ashrama, first stage of life is to prepare oneself to get education, student's life we can say. At that time, we should not allow any distractions to come. Brahmacharya means celibacy has to be observed. When you are a student, you are preparing for the rest of the life. Qualifying yourself, getting all the qualities, practicing all the virtues. That is the stage of purity. Then when you are ready to assume a householder's life, you become a householder. Then that is the time, the householder's phase is the time in life to give expression to your desires in a controlled, regulated, dharmic way. We should not suppress our desires. We all have desires. Desires to enjoy physical pleasures and family relationships and children and money and wealth and position and other comforts. Those need not be suppressed. You give expression to them in a controlled, regulated, dharmic way, not in a adharmic way. Fulfill the desires. That's why the institution of marriage is there. So, the householder's life is the opportunity to give healthy expression to our natural urges. Be done with that one, gradually. And then, when you are done, your children are grown up, and then you have to move on to the next. You can't be there forever, stuck forever, because your goal is illumination. Goal has to be kept in mind. You are not going to spend all your life as a householder. You have to move on towards the goal of illumination. Moksha is the ultimate goal. That we should not forget. I have to reach that. So this is one phase. I go through this phase. Then you are satisfied. You have been there, you have done that, you have seen that, you have known that one. Enough. Let the next generation continue, and their life, the stream will continue. Unbroken stream will continue. Upanishad says this, Prajatantam Mavyavatsetsi. You have to continue the tradition, family life. Children, prepare them, give them education, teach them values, prepare them for life, and when they are just about grown up and ready to start their life, you gradually withdraw. Your part is becoming less and less. And then Vanaprastha, third phase of life, which is almost extinct now. Third phase of life is, to those days, literally people used to repair tea forest, literally. Now where do you go looking for a forest? All buildings everywhere. There is no forest anymore. No trees are left anymore. So, those days, even the kings used to entrust the kingdom to the oldest prince, or who was eligible to take over the responsibility of the kingdom, and then the king and the queen would, only two of them would go to the forest and live in a hermitage. At one time he was the king, in charge of the whole kingdom, treasury, queen, army, property, possessions, fame, and everything, glory, everything, royal glory was there. He was doing all of that. But he didn't get stuck in that state. After preparing the children, and when the children are responsible enough, grown up, able enough to take over the responsibility of the kingdom, entrust the whole responsibility to them. Kings used to do this one. King and queen would, after the coronation of the son would become the king, and the king will become a retired person who repairs to the forest with the queen and live there in a hermitage, devoting the entire time for spiritual progress. At that time, no job, no money, no property, no maintenance, nothing. You are free. You have done that, fulfilled that one, you are all the adjust you have fulfilled, and you have finished that stage, you go forward. Then you can wholeheartedly and full time dedicate all your time to a spiritual progress, illumination. And then, even beyond the stage how a person can renounce everything totally and become a sannyasi or a monk. This way there were 4 stages were provided, but gradually that situation changed, social life structure changed, society changed. Now people don't go to Vanaprastha. When children are grown up, they continue to be involved in family life. Grandchild rice eating ceremony, Annaprashana, Namakarana, naming ceremony, grandchild primary school education, grandchild's thread ceremony, grandchild college graduation, high school graduation. So where do you stop? There is no stopping point, Dr. Rajaram.
That's where community service comes in.
Yeah, very good. It's a very good idea. You can't go to the forest now. It's not practical. Those days it was. But things have changed.
Drop selfishness and become unselfish.
Yeah, you can stay in society, but devote more and more time for spiritual practice and for helping other people, social service, volunteer, etc. And you have about the position and power and job, etc., money, how long will you do? At some point we should have done enough. Now I'm going to retire and lead a peaceful life, devoting more and more of my time for spiritual practice, and I don't have to completely separate yourself, isolate yourself from society. You can be in society, you can be a part of society, you can be a useful part of society, contributing, guiding other people, giving guidance and advice and helping people to the extent we can help. So that way we can modify that a little bit. At that stage, this way of sattva, rajas, tamas will become less. You don't go to work every day. In work you go to every day, you become upset. Somebody says something, somebody does something, somebody takes your work and puts it as his work. All those things will stop in the Vanaprastha ashrama. Then there is no job, there is no money management, you don't have to worry about stock market and 401k, all those things. You make some provision and remain peaceful. Don't get too much involved inwardly. Actively. Let the world go on. The world will go on with or without us anyhow. There's nothing that we have to do to keep the world moving. The world will move on. We have to start doing that now. You can't wait until you become old, then think about God. We have to think about it now. Whatever we want to achieve, whatever is uppermost in our mind, priority in our mind, That we have to start doing now. Then only something can be done. So here, coming back to Shloka 22, this person remains unperturbed by whatever happens or does not happen. If something that I want to happen does not happen, I am not worried about it. If something happens that I don't want to happen, I am not worried about it. Either way, nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati. If things go away, I don't become attached and cry, oh, I lost it, it went away. If things come, I don't rejoice, because everything that comes has to go. Adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Very famous line, please remember that one, 522. All these worldly things, good and bad, including bad things, worldly things, mostly referring to good things in that verse, bhogaha, enjoyments that we hanker for, they are short-lived. Adyantavantah, they come and then they go. If they go, we should not become sad. If they come, we should not become attached to them. Nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati. Emphasize, remember that line or that idea in your mind and apply it to every moment in our life. In work situation, we get plenty of opportunities to apply these things. In family situation, we get a lot of opportunities to apply these things. So, we should take life as continuous series of learning opportunities. Instead of hating something that unpleasant that happened, we should ask ourselves, what can I learn from that? How can I benefit from that? Something bad happens at work or in the family or in some other context. Instead of hating it and becoming miserable, I should ask ourselves, this happened. What can I learn from it? What is the message behind it? There is a message behind all bad things. Nothing happens at random in our lives. All phenomena, all the people who come into our lives and play some part and leave after some time, they come to our life for a purpose, predetermined purpose. There is a message they carry. Every person who comes to your life carries a message, and I should be receptive. What can I learn from this relationship? It has been sore relationship, bad relationship, it has been a happy relationship, joyful relationship. What can I get from this? What is the message that is hidden behind this relationship? Not hating that person. That will make the complex situation much more complex. Hating unpleasant people makes the situation much more complex. We need not do that one. There is a purpose behind everything that happens in our life. You may not immediately recognize it, but there is a reason, there is a purpose why things happen in our life, good and bad things happen in our life. So we have to remain objective. That's what Sri Krishna is. Remain objective. Don't be too much upset if unpleasant things happen. If pleasant things happen, don't become attached and expect it to continue forever. It will not. So in the earlier chapter, second chapter, Sri Krishna says, Sukha dukkhe same kritva, 238 I think. Labha labhau jaya jayau. Sukha dukkha, they are inevitable in everybody's life. Nobody's life is only full of sukha. Sukha means happiness. Nobody's life is only full of dukkha. They come in combination, various proportions. In some people's life, sukha is more, dukkha is less. Some people's life, dukkha is more, sukha is less. But everybody has both. And it varies with time. It's not nothing is constant. Every moment life, the geometry, the geography of life is changing every moment. So we have to remain unperturbed. Sukha dukkhe same kritva, labha alabhau same kritva. Labha means something that I want comes to me, gain. Labha means gain. Alabha means loss of something. I like something, but it leaves me. I like something, it stays with me for some time. Then I expect it to stay with me all the time. Now after some time it will go away. It will be there, I have to leave, or whatever, separation comes. Labha, alabha, gain and loss. Jaya, ajaya. Jaya means success. You do something, you succeed. Next day you do something, you fail. Ajaya means opposite of success, failure. Success and failure are inevitable. Gain and loss are inevitable. pain and pleasure are inevitable. That combination is always there. So if I allow myself to jump up and down with everything that happens, then I will have no peace. I'll be jumping up and down forever. I have no peace. So what Sri Krishna is saying here repeatedly is, you remain unperturbed, let things happen. If you don't get attached to good and bad things, then you are free. So the second line, verse 22, chapter 14, Nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati. Very important. I like this line so much. It's a great lesson to me, to everybody in that one line. People are like that. Some people are very pleasant. You always want to spend more time with that person. But something happens, that person has to leave. Then you become unhappy. Be thankful for bad as well as for good. Some person gives a lot of trouble. You all know the book, Thank You for Being Such a Pain. That book is, it's a very good book. I recommend that you read that one by Rosen, Mike Rosen, Paul Rosen, something like that. Very nice book. Thank You for Being Such a Pain. He has given a spiritual orientation to life's experiences. That's why it is very, very beneficial to read that book. So if somebody is creating trouble, instead of hating that person, you should say, thank you for helping me to work out my bad karma. That person is only an delivery instrument. He is only an outlet. He is helping me to work out my bad karma. Thank you for being such a pain. Like that. So 14:22. Nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati. Now let us see 23. Same idea of equanimity and same-sightedness. Equanimity. Sri Krishna says, Swami Vivekananda says, heed then no more how body lives or goes. Its task is done. Let karma float it down. Body becomes sick. I should not be too much perturbed. Everybody becomes sad, sickness comes, but then keep it under control. If body is experiencing good health and vigor and beauty and youth, then don't become attached. It will not be there. Passing, it's all passing show. In the 1940s, when I was growing up in middle school, there used to be a cigarette called Passing Show. Anybody, my generation people will remember that one. Passing Show. Kanaji remembers. Only my generation people will know. Now so many other bands have come. Life is a passing show. That name of the cigarette is very appropriate. Whole world is a passing show. Don't become attached. Some good scene is happening, don't say it, think it will remain forever. It will, like movie, every 5 seconds the scene will change. Have you noticed that one? When you watch television or movie, no scene remains for more than 6 seconds. You examine time in your stopwatch. The scene has to change every 5 hours. That's the attention span of a normal person, 5 or 6 seconds. So life is like that. Every few moments, every few days, every time things are coming. Some good things are coming, bad things are going. Good things are going, bad things are coming. Just constant dynamic flux. Life is a flux. So we should not ride on those waves. We should withdraw ourselves and remain as an observer, not as a participant. If you jump into the boxing ring, you get hit pretty bad. If you stay outside the ring, watch the game, you enjoy. So life is like a boxing ring. Don't make the mistake of jumping into the ring, then all hitting will be there. You stay outside, just outside the ringside seat, you enjoy. It's happening. It's happening. Why should I become upset if somebody calls me a fool? So, heed there no more how body lives or goes. Its task is done. Let karma float it down. Let one put garlands on, another keep this frame, say not. No praise or blame can be, where praiser praised and blamer blamed are one. Thus be thou calm, sannyasin bold, say Om Tat Sat. You call me a fool? Thank you for being such a pain. You call me a wise man? Thank you. I don't become attached to it. Take everything calmly with an unperturbed mind. That is the message in this whole chapter 14, if you ask me to point out one thing that we have to take home, equanimity, practice of equanimity. That brings peace. Otherwise, if you become attached to things, jump up and down with every wave that comes in our life, we have no peace. We should not do that one.